When BeOnCloud took the mantle from Filmania by purchasing the rights of KinnPorsche the series, most of the BL fans were surprised and equally clueless about the newly formed production company. Nobody in the BL industry would have ever guessed that a Thai novel with a dark plot would redefine the way how the BL industry works. With a storyline that is controversial yet captivating, some of the most talented screenwriters and directors at the helm, fresh faces making their debut after grilling auditions, and the series shot at some of the most iconic locations in Thailand, this magnum opus was destined to become a doozy from the beginning. Authors Park Chaimon Theerapanyakul and Theerapanyakul, perhaps while writing the love story of Kinn Theerapanyakul and Porsche for their novel KinnPorsche, could not have imagined what a cult status their story is going to achieve and how successful it's going to be after getting adapted into a drama. And that's the reason the novel is loved as much as the series, forcing the authors to get it translated into English. Interestingly, one of the big differences between fiction and drama is that, in the novel, Kinn is still a student and comparatively more aggressive, while in the series, he's shown as a man with principles. He isn't a defenseless character by any stretch of the imagination, but he's so much more human, contemplative and deep. He's the exact opposite of Porsche, who needs that calmness in his overdramatic life. And Kinn is very much the stable home that Porsche is looking for without even realizing it. That's why Korn so wanted Porsche to be a part of Kinn's life, because Porsche is the phoenix rising from the ashes when the chips are down. And throughout, Porsche is always seen on Kinn's side. And with all due respect to the writers, I loved how the makers shaded the novel when they made huge changes to Kinn's character, thereby indirectly hinting that he is not a low-class mafia who beat everyone around. Kinn is a man with some serious emotional walls up, yet he shows Porsche a tiny bit of himself and felt the same level of emotional vulnerability. Kinn got a good view of the real Porsche, and it reminded him of either who he was or who he wished he could be if he were not born into the mafia. And it's not like Porsche breaks through Kinn's emotional walls. It's more like Kinn just doesn't have the right defenses for Porsche, because Kinn's defenses are for the cold and manipulative, while Porsche is caring, chaotic and adorable. Now Porsche's mother, Namphueng, is actually the adopted daughter of the senior-most Theerapanyakul, who is the father of Korn and Gun. That's the reason Korn feels too attached to Porsche and Porsche, because he's always looked at Namphueng as his own sister. In fact, the tussle between the major family and the minor family is mainly born out of Gun's obsession with power and his past horrible actions that destroyed Porsche's family in particular. In the novel, Korn, despite being from the mafia, comes as someone with a moral compass unlike Gun, who can go to any extent to get what he wants. Also, the crazy fixation that Gun had for Porsche's mother is an altogether different story, which the makers thankfully did not show in the rendition, keeping the audience's sentiments in mind. Now in the novel, Korn was successful in rescuing Porsche and Porsche, but he wasn't able to save Namphueng from the torture that she had to endure because of Gun. And unable to control himself anymore, Korn shoots down Gun in the very same room where Gun has preserved the remains of Porsche's mother. The most pathetic character in the storyline, frankly, is Gun Theerapanyakul, the father of Vegas. Not only is he selfish, but he's also homophobic and someone who hates his son and instills hatred against the major family in him. Although many BL fans were critical of Gun for being manipulative and horrible, I beg to differ. He's certainly accountable for all the wrongdoings, but at the end of the day, he's still a mafia lord, with 3 sons who are all equally crazy and eccentric in their own way. But luckily, the 3 brothers don't have the kind of sibling rivalries like that of Korn and Gun. That's the reason he wanted Porsche to be a part of his family, to balance out the power and authority, and to pay for the sins that his family committed towards the Kitty Savants. One of the main reasons Korn chooses Porsche to lead the second family is because Porsche isn't raised in a mafia family. Since Gun is killed by Korn, Vegas and Macau are left with a newborn baby which Gun fathered with a mistress, and Pete takes care of them after informing Korn and taking his permission to be with the minor family. But since Porsche is the one leading the minor family, there arise certain altercations and misunderstandings between Kinn and Porsche that leads to their breakup. Still, given that it's the romance between two grown-up men, they solve their differences and patch up. Although Korn wants Kinn to be the legal heir of his mafia world, he chooses Kinn since he's been involved in the business hands-on from the beginning and has sacrificed a lot for the family. That's the reason showing chess as an analogy during most of the episodes clearly showed us how much Korn wanted Porsche to be a part of the mafia family and how much he entrusts Kinn with Porsche, representing Porsche as the queen and Kinn as the king in the chessboard. After Vegas gets recovered, he continues to work as a member of the minor family, although Porsche deep down isn't sure why Korn gave the ring of the minor family to him. Having said that, Vegas does show interest in wanting to take his position, and Porsche too is willing to give away the power because deep down he is always concerned for Porsche in the novel. Since Kinn and Porsche love each other, Korn wants more of a collaboration between the two families, and that will only be possible if the leaders of both families respect each other and would keep their egos aside if there arise any differences for the greater good of both the families. Although many BL fans are critical of Korn, I find him the perfect game player and game changer in the whole story. He wants Kinn to lead, but chooses Kinn and Porsche. He is in no way manipulative, he is just calculative of his every move, just like a Grandmaster is while playing the game of chess, and watching the drama unfold as the opponent is busy racking his brain. If one reads between the lines in every episode of the first season, we can anticipate cycles of rising, falling, and then rising stronger than before, while we witness the transformation of every major character of the storyline so far. And I'm certainly looking forward to seeing if this metaphor holds up as an overall theme in the story in the second installment of the series as well. I'm sure the makers will incorporate huge changes in the rendition with respect to Season 2 as well. Although given the success rate of most of the second installments of the BL series, the fear of the audience that the story may get messed up if they drag it unnecessarily for too long should be put to rest. BeOnCloud is different. It has proved itself to be one of the best production companies in the Thai BL industry as of now, which is not only professional when it comes to handling everything that happens behind the scenes, but they have roped in some of the brilliant and talented minds to work on this project. So they surely won't be giving the audience anything mediocre after producing something as outstanding as Season 1. Apart from that, the love story of Time, Tae and Tem is also mentioned in the novel. And there is also a doctor whom Kun is crazy about. In fact, I feel the makers did an outstanding job in setting him apart visually from his brothers Kinn and Kim, showcasing his wealth and making him visually loved-looking, which enhances his personality. That's the reason I'm more than excited to see how his romantic storyline will be chalked out in the further part of the story. Because if these interesting characters are not explored in the second season, it will be a total shame. And I don't think the makers would do such an injustice after investing so much of time, money and effort into making such a cult classic with some of the most talented young guys in the industry. It was interesting to see everyone having an opinion on every single thing associated with the series, as I was enjoying it silently. And with every episode trending on Twitter, the name KinnPorsche has become a brand in itself. Last but not least, I really wanted to see more of this man in the further installment of the series and wish that the makers introduce him to a romantic interest too, thereby presenting us with the only hetero couple and surprising the audience by giving us something new which wasn't in the novel. But alas. Thank you so much guys for listening to me so very patiently. Hope you enjoyed the video. Lots more awesome BL content coming up, so stay tuned for more. By the way, this is my original voice and not that of a robot.